Hi guys, welcome to Bria on a Budget. Welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra and I am the writer of Bria on a Budget. It's my blog and it's been live for 30 days now, and I really wanted to make this video just so that I can get better connected with my audience and you as a reader, and just really get to know you guys better. You get to know me better as well. I think that bloggers, as writers, sometimes we have a tendency to want to hide behind all our words, so I thought I'd pop up and challenge myself at doing videos. I think it's gonna be a fun journey. I am going to be reflecting on what I've learned thus far in blogging in 30 days. I really want to help other bloggers who were just like me, who were just like in my shoes, who just wanted to see what someone else's journey was like in a writing post, and when you're first starting and you're overwhelmed and you're frustrated and then you don't know what to do. And I think it's interesting when you go on Pinterest and you Google people's journeys and you read back to their first posts with their first blog updates, and they'll share a little bit about what their struggles are like, but I think it's just a totally different thing when you see it like this, when you kind of see it in documentary like form. I don't know, I just have a good feeling about it, and so I wanted to hop on here just to help out those fellow bloggers who may be just starting out or are looking for just a little bit of guidance or just an insight on what it's like to be a blogger for a personal finance website. So I'm gonna hop in and tell you what I've learned. Something that really stuck out to me when I first started blogging was how much I really cared to make quality content and to just like really make a connection with people. I did a lot of research before I started blogging, and I noticed that once I came across somebody's page, I would just like immediately go to their About Me section, and I would want to know, like, who are you? How old are you? Like, if this is a personal finance website, like, what is your debt looking like? What is your income looking like? Are you married? Do you have children? I just really want to get to know the reader before I kind of look to them for any sort of advice. And so I know if I'm really feeling that way, then I'm sure that other people are feeling that way as well. And I just really never felt like I got enough. I mean, maybe I'm intrusive, but I really want to know. I want to know all the details. So here I am as a blogger when I started out. I'm going to give you all the details on my life. And so I just think that that transparency really builds connections with people, and that's what I really want. That's really what I want to focus on going forward with the blog. So making a connection is really important. And when I thought about creating the blog post for my like 1 month update, you know, I was going to include all the typical things that people in my niche or the bloggers in my niche would do. They would talk about like page metrics, monetization strategies, like how many people are in your email list, how many page views you have. And you know, I was going to start off like that, but I decided to really switch it up just because personally I really wasn't even chirping about that when I first started at all. So it didn't really make sense to me to write about things that I didn't even care about in my first month blogging. So I decided to write about things that I did care about. And that's when I discovered to me, it's really about making that quality content and that connection, because as a blogger, what are you really contributing to the world if it's already been done and you're not really using your own voice, you're not really using what makes you special, what makes you unique, that just a really point of differentiation, why somebody would want to go to your blog as opposed to anybody else. So I'm really focused on just really making those connections and creating that quality content, because that's not what I know I wanted to see when I visited blogs. So I'm not going to feel pressure to write about the numbers. And people like to write about the numbers because it helps to bring them page traffic. Like, let's be real. So if I'm not going to get any page traffic because I decided to just be transparent and honest about my real journey, then let it happen, you know? I want to make quality content, even if it doesn't give me page views. And so another thing that I learned while blogging in this journey is that running a business is 80% mindset and 20% strategy. And when I read that, I was honestly mind blown. Like literally mind blown. Because I spent so much time on the strategy, so much time on like making sure I have the right host, making sure that I have the right content scheduler, making sure that I have all the right apps, making sure that I'm, like trying to get with all the right affiliates or whatever, getting the right monetization strategy. And then after I had everything in place, I had like all these notebooks of like A, B, and C lined out of like what I needed to do. And I was truckling along the way, doing everything that I needed to do, but I still like felt lost, even though I kind of had this playbook, so to speak, that I created. I still felt like I was lacking in direction. And that really came from the fact that I truly didn't feel like I had a point of differentiation. I didn't know what was going to make me different. And so I really had to sit down and like literally take days off from working on the blog and do nothing else besides really look deep on just feedback that I've gotten from my work experience and working with my colleagues and my peers when I was in college, and just really trying to think back on like, what is it that I'm good at? What is it that I even want to do? What do I even really, really want out of the blog? And once I spent a couple days really working on my mindset, it was like everything fell into place. Like everything clicked after that. Like everything that I do on the blog just really revolves around this one question now. It's just so clear. Like if I am not motivating people, I am not inspiring people, and I'm not helping people, then it's not worth doing. Those three characteristics in that question is literally the guide to like every decision that I make, even in this current blog post. If it's not going to help people, if it's not going to inspire people, if it's not going to motivate people, then I really don't need to be writing it. So that's why I decided to kind of go with this strategy as opposed to writing again about the page metrics. So now that I'm really confident in my skills and what makes me different, then I really feel confident in the content that I put out there, just because I know what I'm trying to do now, I'm trying to connect with people. I'm trying to inspire people. I'm trying to motivate people and help them. I don't know. It's really that simple, I guess. I didn't realize that until now. All the strategy in the world kind of really doesn't make a difference if you don't really know why you're doing it. And then the last thing that I learned throughout blogging in this journey is to really trust your intuition. And this is something that I am not very skilled at. This is not something that I've practiced often, but it's something that seems to really have guided me thus far with the blog. So like I'm generally a really strategic and analytical person. I really like to come up with frameworks and steps. I don't really like make decisions if I don't really know where I'm going, or at least have an idea of where I'm going. And so I love to have like strategies and systems in place. So to kind of like rely on your intuition to run your business is a little foreign. But something in my body just tells me not to blog this way, and I really look at my blog as a business. So when I think about making decisions when it comes to like what photos I'm going to choose, what content I'm going to write, the outline for the writing, when and where and how to promote, like all these decisions come into place. And I've just noticed that when I make a decision, or when I think something feels right, it feels really, really right. And when something even feels slightly off, it feels really, really wrong. And I think it's just that, it's a challenge that you learn when you're not working for yourself anymore. I mean, when you're not working for somebody anymore, and you just don't have a boss. You don't have a boss looking over your shoulder. You don't have them to approve or disapprove of any work that you put out there. It's literally just you when you're working for yourself. So you have to be your own judgment. You have to use your own best judgment, and you really have to tap into that. And I found that my intuition has been really helpful. And just the only example that I can kind of give you guys to get you to understand where I'm coming from here is when I first started creating pins, I was looking around for articles to kind of show me like a guide of how to create pins, like what's going to make them successful. And this this article had mentioned that you should only use pins that don't use photos of people, because it shows that photos of just bright, bold text have shown to have better success in reshares than pins that included like people. But when I created my second pin that I've ever made, it's for the post 20 legit apps that pay. It features a stock image of a woman with a little bit more subtle text, and I don't know, it just looked really good to me. And it turns out that that's actually my most shared pin, you know? So one, you can't really believe everything you read, and two, sometimes you just have to follow your intuition. Like my gut just told me, like, this looks good. And guess what? Everybody else thinks so too, or at least the other some odd people who have shared that pin. Thank you guys for sharing that. I appreciate that. So in any case, if I don't trust my intuition, I'm really not going to know what the alternative was going to be anyway. So I'd rather run my business with my peace of mind and be wrong than to do something that doesn't really feel right. You know? So anyway, you guys, that is everything that I've learned in my past 30 days of being live with the blog. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you like this content, and I hope to see you guys next time on my next update. Thanks.